Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle. And in this video, we got to talk about the recent announcement that Wonder Man is being developed for the MCU. Yes, this is very exciting, crazy news that came out yesterday. And in this video, we're going to talk about the news, talk about the books that have been moving in the market, and then also maybe at the end of the video, put on our tinfoil hat and maybe go to Pepe Silvia town to speculate on where this all might be going. But before I get into the video, if you guys could drop me a like or a comment or subscribe if you're enjoying the content, helps support the channel doing those things. I'd appreciate it. But let us get into this video here today. And of course, the first thing we got to talk about is the news story itself. You know, yesterday it came out here in Hollywood Reporter that Marvel is developing a Wonder Man series with Destin Daniel Cretton and Andrew Guest. And so, Hollywood Reporter, one of the bigger trades out there in the market. You know, anytime, I always mention on this channel, anytime a news story comes out, via Hollywood Reporter or Deadline or Variety, respected publications like that, that's pretty exciting news. That is like, essentially confirmed news that this is happening. Now, before we go all too crazy here, this is Marvel is developing it. Develop is the key word here. That doesn't mean that this has an actual release date. That doesn't mean that the show has been greenlit. It just means that these filmmakers are currently working on scripts, working on ideas, going to Kevin Feige's office and pitching him where they think the series could ultimately go. So, it's a long road ahead for this character, but it is very, very exciting. The fact that they are actually announcing this in these trades definitely goes to show that there's a lot of confidence that this is a series that could be happening. So this is the news that came out yesterday, and effectively it set the comic book market on fire for this particular book right here, which is, of course, Avengers #9, first appearance of the character of Wonder Man, a book that came out in 1964. And, it's really funny. We've been talking about the state of the economy, the global economy on the recent couple of videos here. And even in my video yesterday, I talked about how there's nowhere to hide, right? You can't put your money anywhere. You can't put it in real estate. You can't put it in stocks. Can't put it in crypto. Can't put it anywhere without it going down. Well, I was very, very wrong, because apparently the one place that was safe to put your money was in Avengers #9, first appearance of Wonder Man, because this book has absolutely sold like hotcakes over the last day or so since this announcement. So let me just show you guys really quickly the recent eBay sold listings, and we can just kind of get a sense. So of course, the announcement was on the 16th, and let's just count again, because it's always fun to count how many sold books there have been since this announcement. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 28 sold copies just on eBay alone, which for a 1964 Silver Age book is going to be quite a lot. I mean, that is a lot that have moved in the market over these last 24 hours or so. And basically across the board, you're seeing this book setting all new record highs for this character, basically at every grade level. Like, I think if I just go down here, we can see before the announcement, we saw a 7.5 sell right here for $750. So this was on May 24th. You got a 7.5 going for $750. And then if we flash forward to basically where we are today, I think we actually did get another 7.5 sale, and the sold price for that 7.5 was $1,425 just a couple weeks after that original 7.5. So basically you 2x your money in basically less than a month, which is pretty good return on your investment if you are someone who was speccing on the Wonder Man books and the Wonder Man craze. And, overall, this has been a book that has moved a lot in the market. And one of the things that I think is really cool about, seeing this, that we got basically 30 sales just on eBay alone is that, unlike, say, when we got the recent Thunderbolts announcement, when we had, Incredible Hulk 449 moving a lot in the market, we saw like whatever it was, like 70 copies of that book move, but then you also saw an influx of new listings, like basically, the same, like there was like 70 new listings and stuff. And certainly you're now starting to see an influx of Avengers #9 new listings, but it's not nearly the same amount as it was for, say, Incredible Hulk 449. So even though I can scroll through here, you can see all the new listings here on eBay at the time of recording this. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 new listings basically for Avengers number 9, which is in comparison to the 30 that sold. And that's, really one of the things that for me, again, you could buy what you guys want. Definitely it's not up to me to decide what you guys should be buying, but it just goes to show when we're talking about the supply and demand equation for the values of comic books, this is why, Golden Age comic books and Silver Age comic books are always going to be able to sort of secure their floor value, because even when you have people trying to cash in on this excitement, trying to flip their books, the supply is not going to be able to live up to that of, the more modern stuff. And that's why, even though people are putting up new listings, there's still less copies than there were after the announcement, which is going to be able to hold the floor price for this book moving forward. But this is not the only book that has moved in the market. There's been some other Wonder Man related books that have moved. And so we got to talk about this one right here, which is Avengers number 131. This is what, maybe Key Collector would define as the second real appearance of Wonder Man. I mean, I think technically they have it just labeled as the third appearance of Wonder Man, because Wonder Man has a second appearance in Flashback, but this would be his second appearance in continuity. And this is also a book that has moved a lot in the market. It is also the first appearance of the team, the Legion of the Unliving. Not necessarily a huge team in Marvel comic books, but an interesting book all the same. Another book that has moved a lot in the market is this one right here, which is Marvel Premiere number 55. This would be the first solo story for Wonder Man. I've actually talked about this book a lot on the channel before. I usually pick this up every time I see it. I've probably flipped through it in a bunch of comic book haul videos, but a very, very cool book. And, of all the other books that you could own for Wonder Man, which we'll talk about in a second, solo series and solo title and things like that, I think that this is probably the second coolest book you would want to get your hands on. I mean, it's a Bronze Age book, a later Bronze Age book, but I think the cover is great. I think it's a classic sort of Wonder Man cover. I think this one just presents really well, and I love the fact that it's his first solo story, and also it's technically the first time you see the words Wonder Man in the title right there. So I think that this is a pretty cool book, and this is definitely one of those ones that's sold quite a bit in the market all across the board. I think, we got probably like 40 sales of this book or so. Some of the highs for this thing are pushing that kind of $30 range, depending on what kind of grade and what kind of deal you got. There was actually a 9.6 sale that went for $225. I believe that this is a record high sale for this particular book right here. So definitely one that has moved a lot in the market. Some of the other cool books that have moved in the market, this one right here, Wonder Man number 1, the Bill Sienkiewicz cover, a book that came out in 1986. This would be Wonder Man's first solo series, but it's also a one-shot issue. And this is one that, a lot of people have been buying this one as well. Pretty cool cover, if you ask me, if you're a Sienkiewicz fan. Definitely has that nice painted aesthetic, but a pretty cool book overall. And then there's this book right here, which is Wonder Man number 1 from 1991. And this would be his second solo series, but really his first kind of ongoing series. It didn't last that many issues, but one of the reasons I like this particular book right here, one, it's low risk. You can easily find this in dollar bins. But number 2, it really digs into sort of Wonder Man's Hollywood lifestyle persona, which I think is something that they're going to be exploring as a characterization for the Wonder Man character, because as you guys may know, Wonder Man, one of the cool and funny things about him is that, he actually is a Hollywood actor, or he becomes a Hollywood actor and stuntman. And I think that there's a lot of opportunity that they can sort of explore that world with this character. So kind of like what we saw with Sensational She-Hulk number 1 versus, say, a Savage She-Hulk number 1. Obviously, Savage She-Hulk is the way to go, but Sensational She-Hulk is definitely moving up a lot in the market due to the fact that the characterization from that book is the one that is likely we're going to see on screen. Similar here, I think the characterization of this Wonder Man is the one that we will likely see on screen as well. What are the other ones that have been moving in the market? There's this one right here, Avengers number 161. Now, Key Collector denotes this as being the new costume for Wonder Man, and although that is true, I don't necessarily think personally this is the book that you want to own, although there's been quite a few sales for this one on eBay. But the new costume he gets in this one is this that you see right here on the cover, which is sort of that green and red one, which is very similar to what he looks like in his premiere costume, but not quite the iconic costume that, we sort of identify with Wonder Man, where you have to go to this book right here, Avengers number 167, if you want to own the first costume appearance of Wonder Man, kind of wearing those red sunglasses, the Ray-Bans basically, with the red jacket and the sweater underneath. If you want that sort of classic almost like Cyclops look for Wonder Man here. He actually has that first costume appearance here in Avengers number 167. It would actually be, this look right here that we saw for this cover, the classic red jacket with the sunglasses and stuff. This is where he makes his first appearance for this particular costume. But to me, if you also want another iconic costume, Avengers number 253, this is actually the first appearance of Wonder Man in costume as what I personally identify as Wonder Man's main costume, which is, of course, this one right here, the iconic superhero look where he's got the W on the chest, so it's the all black thing. So this is like where basically he has this look on the cover. He basically makes that first appearance for that costume in Avengers 253 of all places. So I think that this is a pretty cool book as well. But, regardless, if you're a fan of the Wonder Man character, obviously the main book to own is going to be Avengers number 9, which is his first, true appearance. I like the fact that it's a 1964 book, an Avengers book, early Avengers, sub number 10. So that book is always going to have a nice floor value. But before I close out the video, let's put on our tinfoil hats for a second and talk a little about some of the other interesting books that I personally think are interesting now that we have Wonder Man coming to the MCU, because I really think that this is a very, very cool character to bring into the MCU and where this could all potentially lead to, because now that you have Wonder Man in here, although he's never been sort of like a flagship character of Marvel, he has so many touch points to all of the other characters out there in the MCU. And I think the main one that we have to sort of talk about and think about right away is actually going to be this book right here, which is West Coast Avengers number 1, the limited series, which would be the first appearance of the West Coast Avengers. And this is a really cool book, one that has been kind of rumored on for quite some time, coming off of the Hawkeye show. A lot of people have been thinking about, maybe we're laying the foundation for the West Coast Avengers. And if you look at the landscape right now of characters that are on the table, you have Hawkeye. Effectively, you've introduced Mockingbird if Hawkeye's wife is codename Mockingbird. You have War Machine. You have now Wonder Man coming to the table here. So you definitely have the landscape forming for that initial West Coast Avengers team. And this is a very interesting book as a result of that. So I could definitely see a future where Hawkeye leads the West Coast Avengers and Wonder Man is a member of that. Now, I said that we have the initial landscape of the team. And one of the other interesting books that all of a sudden I think becomes very, very attractive as a result coming off the heels of this Wonder Man announcement is this one right here, which is Giant Sized Creatures number 1. This would actually be the first appearance of the character known as Tigra right here. And Tigra is a really interesting character because of the fact that, she is also one of those founding members of the West Coast Avengers. She's had a relationship with Wonder Man before in the comic books. She's kind of a character that, during the 80s had a lot of integral parts into like the various Avengers teams and all of our favorite superheroes. And also there's been low-key rumors that there is going to be a cameo appearance of Tigra in the She-Hulk show. Now, those are all just rumors and speculation right now, but it does give those rumors a little bit of credence now with this Wonder Man announcement, because if they were laying the foundation for Tigra to make her appearance in the She-Hulk show, maybe they really are trying to bring this West Coast Avengers team together sometime in the future. Now, some of the other books, of course, that we have to talk about is Avengers number 52. This one is the first appearance of the Grim Reaper. Grim Reaper, of course, is the brother of Simon Williams, who, of course, is Wonder Man. Grim Reaper, another interesting character. This is a book that has moved a lot in the market. And, both this book and Wonder Man definitely had movement when we got WandaVision last year. Those rumors never really panned out, but, we did see a little bit of movement for those books. And based off of this rumor right here, or based off of this announcement, we did see quite a few sales for Avengers number 52 as well. So definitely feels like if we're going to be doing a Wonder Man show, it would make a lot of sense to have his villain in his show be the Grim Reaper. And to me, again, when I put on my tinfoil hat and I think about where this is all leading to, I definitely think a lot back to this book right here. Again, I'm going to continue to talk about this, the Masters of Evil. The Masters of Evil are the team that created Wonder Man. It was the original Zemo who actually worked with Enchantress and Executioner to make Wonder Man as like a threat to sort of basically undo the Avenger team. So to me, I'm thinking about the landscape. I'm thinking about, okay, we have the Masters of Evil. We have everything going on with Contessa. Grim Reaper has worked for Hydra in the past, so that definitely plays a factor. We know that the Thunderbolts are coming. I personally think that the Thunderbolts are going to turn into the Masters of Evil. So I think that there's a lot of potential of what the Masters of Evil might actually morph into. And if I was really putting on my tinfoil hat, I would also be looking at books like this, which is Captain America 209. This is the first appearance of Arnim Zola. I really do think that Arnim Zola and also the Red Skull might be pulling the strings behind the scenes of the Masters of Evil. I would definitely be looking at characters like this. Tales of Suspense, of course, 65 and 66 are the first Silver Age appearances of the Red Skull. I personally like 66 because it is the Johann Schmidt version of that. But again, if I was putting on my armchair Feige GM hat, I would definitely say, okay, we're going to bring in Wonder Man. We're going to have him do plot interactions with Wanda. We're going to do the love triangle with him and Vision. They're going to join the West Coast Avengers, all of them together. We're going to bring in Grim Reaper. Grim Reaper is going to be working for Hydra. Hydra is going to be pulling the strings for the Masters of Evil. And then eventually we're going to have those two teams come together. So that would be where I would go with all this. And all the books I just showed you, I think, are interesting books coming off the heels of this announcement. Anyways, that's all for this video. That was me just going over the recent Wonder Man announcement. What do you guys think about this? What are you guys feeling on Wonder Man? Are you guys excited about this? Do you guys have any Wonder Man books? Drop me a like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and I'll see you in the next video.